Hello, welcome to the CRL show. Another big one coming your way. There's a bit of rain about as usual. There was snow this time as well. Geoff, we had a bit of a fall in the Clayton Cup as well.
Yeah, there's one less undefeated team in the state, so looks like we're going down to the wire with 3 teams left.
Yeah, big hits, tries of the week and heaps more on this episode of the CRL show. Yeah, thanks for joining us. I'm Paul Arandale.
I'm Geoff Stevenson.
And another big episode coming your way. Geoff, did you get out and about on the weekend?
Yeah, I went down to the wet Corrimal West game in the Illawarra Cup, in the Harrigan's Cup. It was cracker of a game. 8-0 in the end. It was not the kind of game where there was going to be a lot of points scored, but didn't detract from the quality of footy out there on the field and those players. I think any player that played in the wet or the snow this week had earned their
their match fee,
whatever it is they get, their beer and pie at the end of the game, because it was muddy and gluggy, but geez, the defence, it was a cracker of a game.
Yeah, I had a weird one. I was supposed to call the Newcastle match of the round at Curry, and I was almost out the door 3 or 4 times. And the game kept getting sort of, we're not sure, and eventually got called off. But, it was a bit of a nightmare for BarTV people, crew and all that. Moving grounds, logistics becomes a bit of a nightmare. So, spare a thought for those guys having to move quickly to a new ground just so everything can get in order. But it was an odd weekend of footy. Few upsets, a few twists and turns, a race for minor premiership, race for finals as well.
There's plenty of comps getting really congested at the top now, and it'll come down to the last round, possibly last game of the round, that's going to decide where everyone's going to sit in the semi-finals. So it's just getting that time of year.
Yeah, well, we've got a few moments that happened from the weekend. First up, Evans Head. They're still alive after a win on the weekend. I mean, we've got the highlights here of Coogin v Tweed Heads Seagulls here. Tweed Heads snatching a point at the death, but it could be enough for Coogin to win the minor premiership because at Bellamble, the Jets defeated Maris Brothers, who were just 2 points behind Coogin. Bellamble slip into third. Here we are, Evans Head on Saturday night, defeating Mullumbimby, ending Mullumbimby's chances of making the semis. Evans Head, as they keep their semi-final hopes alive. The ladder, as it stands, it's a top 6 in the NRRL 14-team competition. Coogin 4 points clear at the top. Maris Brothers in second, just the 1 win ahead of Bellamble, and Ballina is an extra 2 points behind on 17. That's the top 4. Then rounding out the top 6, Casino on 17, Murwillumbah on 16. Then this is where it gets interesting. You've got Tweed Heads 15, Evans Head 15, and it's all over for Mullumbimby. They're on 12 with Kyogle, Tweed Coast, Lower Clarence further back with 10, Byron Bay 3, and Northern United last with 2 points. But it's a interesting bit of a logjam there in the middle. Yeah,
and it's worth noting, like a lot of we've been following those the undefeated teams through the Clayton's Cup kind of bingo we've been playing. But you see what happens next when a team has a loss. Coogin and Bellamble were going head-to-head until the middle of the season, and Bellamble sort of dropped off. So it'll be interesting after that win on the weekend. That'll be massive for them in getting a bit of confidence back, because Coogin have just kept humming along. They've just had 1 loss and are looking great. But Bellamble were early season. They were the form team. So an interesting round of footy coming up in the NRRL. They do have a wet weather round. I'm not sure if that's going to be played or not. So it's interesting. This could be the final round this weekend. We're still waiting for confirmation. George Took Shire. We're getting to the pointy end too of the George Took. This is the top of the table clash between Crookwell Green Devils and the Bungadore Tigers at Crookwell's home grounds. A big crowd there. Yeah, great to see.
Muddy conditions, great to see. The slosh, the mud. Hard to pick up the numbers.
Yeah, they were. Now I don't know whether it's this round or the next round's their one for the retired players fund, the Old Boys Day. But Crookwell Bungendore have been great all year, all season. So it's really late that Crookwell have kind of snuck in there and gone to the top of the table. So
1 point ahead of Bungendore now, so it's really tight.
Yeah, it's really Crookwell are kind of been pretty quiet. They've sort of just been humming along all season, and it's getting interesting now.
All right, and Canberra Rugby League, some interest, just a few sort of, I guess, little movements in their competition. Queanbeyan Kangaroos, they go back to the top of the ladder on for and against after a good, strong win over Belconnen United. Again, Sam Williams starring in the win. But the Bushrangers, they win again, this time defeating Queanbeyan Blues in a thriller at Seaford. They're still occupying fourth. We'll have the ladder up shortly for you. Nice little swan dive there. There's the ladder. Queanbeyan Kangaroos and Blues equal on 20 on top. Then West Belconnen on 17. Tuggeranong Bushrangers in fourth on 16 points. Top four in Canberra. Just outside, Woden Valley's on 13, Gungahlin 10, Goulburn City and Belconnen United on 9, Yass at the bottom, but Woden Valley's just got to keep winning and hope that the Bushrangers drop a game.
Yeah, and it'll be a theme that'll come up during the show that there's a lot of momentum that teams are carrying into the final. So Queanbeyan, both the Queanbeyan teams look like they were going to be certainties for the grand final, but you look at Tuggeranong, and you think, it's not always about what points you've got on the field. Once you hit semi-finals, it's a cliche, anything can happen. And if they just keep winning, we may not have, we might at least have one less Queanbeyan team in the grand final this year.
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting. I'd love to see it come down to the final round, see if Woden Valley can sneak in
there as well. Yeah, that's all I can do, like I say, is keep winning.
All right, and just one other moment here that we picked up on the weekend. This is Brisbane Rugby League, the BRL. This is the feature match between West Panthers and Redcliffe. Not sure if this is a runaround or runaround Falcon. I don't know. There's a beautiful pass off the ground. Then take that.
And then just lay flat. If you lay flat, people will not notice you and there won't be a penalty. I think it's a theory.
I just like the communication between the referee and the touch does there. Like the referee, the touch is sort of like, I can't believe what I've just seen. But
what is that? I don't know. I wondered whether if the player got hit in the face was onside, is it play on? All these referees know all of the rules. It blows me away. But there'll be a rule buried somewhere saying, off the head, bit like a falcon, really. Yeah. Falcon, it could be, if it bounced off his head and then rolled into the in goal and they put the ball down, that would be a falcon try assist, I don't know, or a try assist to the player getting hit in the head. But he was clearly offside, despite the fact if he laid still enough, for those who are listening, he just sort of laid flat after getting hit in the face, and it wasn't because it was hit very hard. I think he was just thinking, what do I do now? I just got hit in the face. It was a great offload just prior, so it's a shame it all went to waste in the end, but it did make the CRL show, which is all you ever really wish for, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what we look for, those magical moments. Yeah,
fantastic.
All right, let's get into some results from the weekend. As we just showed a bit of Canberra, it was round 16 down there. Woden Valley had a big win, 40-14 over Gungahlin. Queanbeyan Roos 34-8 over Belconnen United. Queanbeyan Blues went down to Tuggeranong 34-32, and West Belconnen 14-8 in a close one over Goulburn City.
Now Brisbane Rugby League round 18. So forget how long the season is up there. Carina defeated Valleys 30 points to 18. It was a draw between Logan and Wynnum 24 all, and West defeated Redcliffe 20 points to 10.
Ipswich round 12, Brothers 54-16 over North's Tigers. Redbank Plains 36-26 over West End, and Ipswich Jets had a big win over Fassy Fern 82-12.
Yeah, and Illawarra round 13, that game Corrimal defeated West 8 points to 0. The Collies continue their winning 32 points to 6 against Yellow Sale, and Dapto, another team who got plenty of momentum, defeated the Rules 14 points to 12.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's a wet weather round in Group 7 this weekend, but they got half of round 15 played, so the other half will be played this weekend.
Like a split.
Yeah, split. Yeah, Albion Park had a 18-12 win over Nowra Bomaderry, and the Stingrays were too good for Jamboree. Stingrays stay top.
Yeah. Now, in Triple RL, they have a full round up there. Stayed reasonably dry from the look of it. On the weekend, it seemed to be either wet or dry. or snowy, which we'll get on to later. Evans Head, like we said, defeated Mullumbimby 20 points to 10. Bellamble defeated Marist 26-10. Lower Clarence 40 points to 26 against Northern United. Murwillumbah 4 points to 6 against Ballina going down. Casino 50 points to 14 against Kyogle. Tweed Coast 52-24 against Byron Bay, and an 8-all draw between Tweed Heads and Coogin.
Round 16, Sunshine Coast, Biwa 28-12 over Nambour, Maroochydore 22-8 over Kawana, Noosa 19-12 over Coolum, and Caloundra 38-24 over Caboolture.
Yes, and the game in Newcastle Rugby League Denton Engineering Cup, up in the valley, far away from Lake Macquarie. The entrance defeated Macquarie 24 points to 12.
It's always funny that we say up in the valley.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You're right. And
We've always said it.
Down by the lake and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you're right.
The other games, we're recording this Tuesday evening, so there's a couple other games that are scheduled for Wednesday night. Northern Hawks v Maitland and West Rosellas taking on Curry. They could be happening. Well, they're scheduled for Wednesday night, so if you're watching this Wednesday evening, you can flick over and watch those games, or please stay with us.
The track looks pretty dry. It looks like they're at least not going to be washed out again.
Yeah. Let's hope not. Knock-on effect Cup round 12 saw Canberra big winners over Western Suburbs 58-18. Parramatta likewise 52-4 over Souths. 18-all between Canterbury and Newtown. Dragons and Warriors 14-all. That was the top of the table clash in boggy conditions. East 20-12 over Manly. North 32-18 over Newcastle.
Yeah, and the Harvey Norman Premiership Round 5, Souths defeated Canterbury 20 points to 14. Newcastle up against Mounties 14 points to 4. Central Coast 26-6 against West Tigers. Cronulla defeated Wentworthville 26-12, and Parramatta defeated Penrith 32 points to 4.
Yeah, again, recording this on Tuesday, St George take on Illawarra Wednesday night as well.
Yeah.
Jersey Fleck round 22. Dragons v Warriors was washed out. Not sure when that's going to be rescheduled at this stage. The other games, West Tigers 25-14 over Canberra. Cronulla 18-8 over Canterbury. Parramatta 44-18 over Souths. Newcastle 20-18 over Melbourne. And Penrith 50-0 over the Cavite Silktails. Manly v Central Coast. I think that is tonight. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, fantastic. Ron Massey, round 18. And Canterbury and Glebe were unfortunately washed out, but Wentworthville defeated Blacktown Workers 26-0, and the rest of the teams are enjoying a bye, so just one game in Ron Massey this week.
Yeah, we had our first grand finals on the weekend. They weren't on BarTV. They're actually on YouTube. Just type in Proten Cup grand final. You'll be able to find it. A double for Barellan.
Yeah, undefeated. I think the women won 26 points to 2. I looked back against Ivanhoe. I think they've conceded, I think it was 12 points all season. So wow. You talk about sometimes these undefeated teams have got a great bunch of really good, attacking players. Defence wins your comps, and that's pretty remarkable defence over a whole season.
Yeah, and in the men's 22-20, Barellan over Ivanhoe. A good crowd was there at Hillston. Yeah. And another great, successful Proten premiership. It's in and out really quick. Hopefully they get a few more teams in there too to maybe extend the comp. But it serves a purpose. It's great to keep these small communities involved in rugby league.
Yep.
It's a great comp.
Probably an apt result in the end. Barellan were undefeated, another undefeated season in the works, and but Ivanhoe were always sort of like nibbling at them all year, so it was probably a good result in the end. Good sort of kind of milestone for the comp as well. I was trying to work out how they do their grand finals, and they share them round to each home ground for each competition, and the first one was held at Hillston,
right?
I guess 6 years ago, and they're back there again. So they were kind of noting that. They said we've actually got through a whole cycle of grand finals, and the comp's flourishing by the sound. Like you say, it'd be good to have a few more teams in there. You'd wonder whether, there's some of those teams. Menindi's probably a bit of a drive away, but some of those teams are looking for a kind of competition nearby.
Yeah.
Could look towards heading towards the Proten Cup, because like I say, it's a pretty condensed season, and I think that's how everyone likes it. You can get your season in and out. You're not committed to a whole winter of competition, but fantastic competition. We love the Proten.
Yep. A little later on, we've got a few tips of grand final winners from competition. We've picked out 12 competitions that we think will grand final tips and see how many we get wrong. It's not really a matter of how many we get wrong.
No, I read the results and I think every team I tipped lost on the weekend. Like they've just gone, Geoff picked him. Right, okay, we better start floundering. Sorry, guys, but anyway, we will see how we've got another month or two to work out who is the most correctest.
Yes. All right, we'll move into our tries of the week. There's plenty of good ones considering the conditions. If you've seen better, let us know on our social media page. We do now have an Instagram page.
Yeah.
What'll be next? Facebook, MySpace, who knows?
But, I don't know. Yeah. What's Instagram? I know what Instagram is. Yeah, fantastic.
Yep, and also if you're listening or whatever, just send us a comment or whatever as well. But here are our tries of the week. First up, we've got Owen Lewis, Tuggeranong Bush Rangers reserve grade. It's from a restart, and the front rower charges straight through the line. Throws a bit of a Hail Mary pass. They get a friendly bounce. A bit of a in and away there from the 5'8", linking up with his centre partner, Owen Lewis, who then coasts the final 20 to 30 metres to score underneath the posts.
So many of restarts at the moment.
Jafel Sir Karina Juniors just catches them napping down the blind side. The poor old centre for Valley still doesn't know what happened, but a great try from Jafel Sir of the Karina Juniors reserve grade.
He just kept running. I love that when you put the ball down and keep moving.
Brooklyn Grogan Caloundra Sharks A grade. I love these little inside passes near the ruck, and Grogan, he still had a lot to do. He just sliced straight through them.
He's quick, that's a great try.
Our next one is Nick Hall Collegians, probably one of the most skillful, lucky, whatever tries you want to see. Here's the first kick, deflection, straight out of the hands of Nick Hall. He gets the bumps away from one, puts it on the toe again. The fullback's got it covered. No, he doesn't. There's a puddle there, and Nick's on it.
Oh, jeez, those puddles, especially the Illawarra.
And finally, Harrison Cusack, Casino RSM Cougars. Another chip and chase, backing up. Harrison then puts it on the toe again, chasing through. Too much pace for the Kyogle Turkeys, and Harrison scores a lovely try in their big win over the Turkeys.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I think it was a Collies game early in the year. I think that some of the kickers down in Illawarra are kicking for the puddles. I don't know with that last one, they were like, it was a bit of a panicked kind of, didn't have much time to kick, but yeah, it's a good strategy. Kick for the puddles.
That's it. Well done. Well done to all of our guys who got on the tries of the week. As we said, if you've seen better, let us know. We'd love to share them on social media. All right, let's get into Around the Groups.
Right, or like we teased at the start of the show, we've got a bit of Clayton's Cup. We're getting to the pointy end, really, with Clayton's Cup. We're running out of games here to decide who will be the Clayton's Cup winner. And in the end, it really is something that needs to be, if there's more than one team that are close, the hierarchy, the great minds at New South Wales Rugby League have to use their formulas and decide who gets it. First of all, though, on Cox Watch. I'm on Cox Watch.
Okay.
Corey Cox, the second rower from Narromine Jets in the Castlereagh League, who has scored now. The season ended on the weekend. He scored 23 tries from 12 games in the season proper. 192 points in the season proper, which is pretty remarkable, considering he kind of came out of retirement this year. You'd think if you're going to ease your way back into the game after a bit of a layoff, it was semi-retirement for him. His brothers were in full retirement, but I think he was kind of tossing up whether to play again.
Yeah.
But, I'll give it another season, and has absolutely creamed him. And again, I don't know how to find out, but I'm sure that maybe talk to Narromine about whether there's some sort of record. He certainly will, Prezzo night will be getting a lot of accolades, and they're in the semi-finals, so it's all looking good now. Clayton's Cup, like I said, Woolgoolga had won. This is the second last round, and they went down to the Sawtell Panthers, pretty convincingly, 32 points to 10. We were saying Sawtell were in third place, so they were a pretty formidable team, although it was only a couple of years ago they came back in the comp after having a year in reserve grade, so good on the Panthers. So Woolgoolga are now are defeated. They are they're still doing well this year. I don't want to say, don't let anyone down, but we're now down to 3 teams. Now, Port City, they had a washout on the weekend, so they didn't have to worry about defending themselves from being undefeated. The Cooleroos won convincingly in the last round of the Castlereagh League, and Merimbula Pambula had a bye. So
interesting though with Port City, if they got no more washout rounds, then that could be a draw. So I have to keep an eye on that. They could be
a draw.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought of that. But,
okay. We'll have to keep an eye. They might have one up their sleeve.
They could, and it could be certainly something maybe that those people that decide who gets the Clayton's Cup might consider. If that's the only loss that they have in their season, they might say, look, we'll cut them a little bit of slack. Not much more you can do than, you can't rock up on a rainy day and play no one. But anyway, we're down to some of them in semi-finals. Cooler in semi-finals, so they are now 2 wins away from being undefeated.
Yep.
Woolgoolga's got a few more games, and it's a bigger Group 2's a bit more extended semi-final. They'd have to win 3 games, I think, in that. And Port Sharks, I'm not quite sure as well. So anyway, we will keep an eye on how things are going. Down Illawarra was interesting. I was just analysing the ladders and stuff like that. So West lost and Dapto won on the weekend. So if Dapto lose to Collies on this weekend, which is kind of like Collies are undefeated, or not undefeated, they've
lost one, haven't they?
Yeah, so they're looking, Dapto could do it. But then if West beat De La Salle, then the last round next week, West will play Dapto for second place.
Wow.
So that'll be one of those games which will be a semi-final before the semi-finals.
Yep.
And Dapto, we're going to talk Dapto. I think, they probably didn't, no offence to them, I don't think anyone really expected them to be finishing second place this year.
No.
So they're going great guns. Now, I have to apologise to the Castlereagh League for how royally I screwed up trying to analyse the ladder last week. I was saying that I just want to get you angry. I know Paul gets angry about buyers getting 2 points, and I'm like, how can I make this about that? Campbell ended up getting into the semi-finals in the end, so I hadn't really probably paid attention to the for and against, hadn't looked at the ladder closely, but Dunedoo sat on the sidelines with their bye, and Campbell ended up defeating Gulgong 32 points to 16, passed them, and qualified for the semi-finals, a 5-team semi-final for the Castlereagh League starting this weekend. Narromine will play Coonabarabran at Narromine on Saturday, and Sunday Gulgong will play Campbell. Cooler have the week off, so...
I do, in your defence, because I was doing the graphic for that last week's show late Tuesday night, and did see that they had updated. That's probably one of the biggest problems we have with CRL getting information for this show, is that sometimes the scores are not updated until midweek.
It's their fault. You're right, Paul.
I did actually.
I think it was that.
And Triple RL, classic example. If you go and have a look at round 16, they're playing the 10th of September. I'm pretty sure the comp's finished. They just haven't updated the draw on the website, which is a shame.
I might show up anyway on that day at the ground and just sit there and wait for the footy to kick off.
The game in question was it was Coogin v Tweed Coast, I think, at Crozier Park in Lismore. So
they should just put on a game there. I don't know, get a bunch of kids.
But it's something we have to deal with.
It's a bit clunky. Anyway. It's probably better than it was 10 years ago. But,
absolutely.
And we're still, getting there when it comes to making it all kind of streamlined. But my league website has been getting better in the past year or so anyway, so we might expect them to get better, more up-to-date updates kind of thing. Anyway, it's going to be pointy end sort of semi-final action out at the Castlereagh League on the weekend. I can't wait. I'd love to get out there, but I think it might be a bit too far. Notable mention of the Warren Bulldogs, who came back this year, and they finished their season defeating Barradine 56 points to 14. So for those teams, you think of some of those ones that are wrapping it up for the season. It's probably good to finish, not so good for Barradine, but good to finish the season on a high. And, good on those teams that have come back this year. There's a handful of them around, and hopefully onward and upward for next season for those teams, even down at Cootamundra. Trying to think of. So, and teams like that, there's plenty of them out there. a little bit of French rugby league news.
Okay. Yep.
It actually seems to be, over the past couple of years, a bit more... I'm talking about country rugby league players signing up for the French Elite, which is played from about October till about May. It's a huge season. And there's been a handful of players, you would hear over there coming back. They tend to come back. They either leave the French comp a bit early or they come back after the French comp in kind of May and join their respective teams. But there's a lot of French rugby league clubs now, talking up these new signings from amazing places like Newcastle and Biwa and places like that, and showing BarTV footage. Like I think, as much as we've talked about it, I think some of because it's so available and high quality, a lot of these teams are starting to scout their players by watching BarTV and going, oh, that guy's pretty good. And some of them you'll recognise pretty well-known players on BarTV. Connor Zeeble.
Yep.
One of the Zeeble brothers is on his way to Racing St. Gaudens. He's a Coogin. You might know more about Connor Zeeble than I do for watching him and calling him over time. But he represented the Titans in country championships.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's one of a brother. Well, I can't remember his brother's name.
Caleb. Yeah.
Caleb. Yeah. So as Connor's heading over to Racing St. Gaudens, I think I love this because I don't know how much money's made over there, but the memories that they'll bring back.
Oh, it's unreal. It's great.
You're playing a whole year of football too. He will literally go over, play, come back, play, and potentially do it all again next year. So that's fantastic. John Tolafoa.
Yep.
The Lakes.
He's off again because he was over there last year.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, so he's heading back to Albi this year. So he was there last year, and they're quite happy to have him back. And he's obviously made a mark over there. I think that's when that's happening. When local players are heading over there year after year, it's actually probably opening some of the French teams' eyes to, who else is playing in those comps? Because we're getting good results from the guys that are coming over. And Daniel Marjanovic from Biwa is heading over. He's a halfback. He's played one game for Serbia, so those international freaks out there. And he's going to sign with the Villeneuve Leopards. So,
there you go. Like
I said, I put it out there because I hope some players are watching this, and I don't know how those connections are made, but I reckon, if it were me and I was 20, 22 years old, I think, mate, you could do a lot worse than head over there. You might be playing in winter, but you're in southern France. There's good wine. There's good food.
A lot of distractions.
A lot of distractions. And I saw some social media stuff last year. There's enough Aussies doing it that you can all kind of meet up. It's all relatively close.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling like, look, I'm going to be the only I won't know, where to start when it comes to kind of integrating myself into the area, you'll have some Aussies around you that can help you out, stuff like that. Another one out there for, I saw online, the Roose Pioneers, and this is in England this time, up in Cumbria way, so around Barrow, for those who know the English game, sort of north of Liverpool. They're looking for players, and they've put it out there to Australian country players.
Okay.
So if you're interested, they play in the North Wales Men's League from March to September. So you've got enough time to probably get your visas organised and all that kind of stuff. You'll be happy to know that they won't trouble you with paying you. They're not going to lessen your experience by paying you to play, but they will provide help with getting accommodation, getting a job. All your rego will be paid, jerseys, everything that they can basically provide, they'll provide. So it's not one of those ones where you go, I could pocket some cash. But memories and fun and all that kind of stuff.
Well, it's a good starting point too for guys that go over there and they want to try and break into League One or Championship where you can earn a bit of coin. So
and
it's a great opportunity.
Not beyond that, because we're looking at this club and they basically, the Barrow Raiders, who are in the third division over in England, are very local to them, and I think this is a feeder club.
Right,
in its own way. Over there, there's not enough players for them to go out scouting all over the joint. They're looking at local when it comes to a lot of players. So you could be a gun, winger, halfback, whatever. You're cutting it up for Roose, and then they say, look, we've had an injury, and suddenly you're playing semi-professional footy and putting yourself out there, and you might onward and upward. You may be playing, first grade professional footy before you know it. It's happened before. Could happen again. Anyway, Roose Pioneers, they're called. There's a ground that I'll just show for the who's watching a look there. It just looks beautiful. Beautiful footy ground with just countryside around it. My thoughts would be stuff trying to make a career out of it over there or something, or money. Just do it for the fun, for the experience.
Yeah, if you're listening to this while driving or however, doing the gardening, we'll put the links in the show notes as well on the website. So if you want to chase it up, by all means.
Yeah, for sure. And lastly, the country round in the NRL is happening on the 24th of August that weekend. No one really has talked about it yet. I think it'd be great to get some of these NRL players to engage with their junior clubs and their former clubs, and each club does it their own way. Some do it really well, but the Knights are actually putting it out there that a local club, they'll wear their socks on game day against the Broncos to kind of celebrate country round. So if you go to the Knights website, all you need to do is write a 25 word or less little thing, and you can have your local junior club, I'm guessing, socks on the field, which would be pretty cool. But I'll keep an eye out for more country round information with the NRL, because I think we have a lot of really good rounds, Indigenous rounds coming up, Women League round. I think this one's really important, because when you look at the percentage of players in NRL clubs from country teams, it's huge. So it should be celebrated.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got, what have we got? We got Sleapys Day coming up this week in the Newcastle Rugby League.
Big, massive day. They always seem to bring rain, but I think the weather's going to be okay.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Always a big crowd. It's probably the biggest crowd, definitely the biggest crowd for a regular season game in Newcastle Rugby League. Yeah. It's on Saturday, which is a bit of a shame, because I think the Knights are playing on the same day. So
although I think the Knights might be Friday night.
Actually, you're right. Yeah,
so that's good. You can have a weekend of footy.
Yeah.
Go the Knights game the night before, get up and hit to Sleapys.
Yeah, Townsend. Again, if you're driving, we'll put these in the show notes. But on the screen, there's the Sleepy Day flyer. There's a QR code up. They're saying that you should get your tickets through the QR code, because it can be quite a big lineup to get in on the day. And the people that are running the gate, they're all volunteers, and they want to enjoy the day too. So get your tickets online. That's probably the best bet. Enjoy the day. It's a great day, and it's a good cause.
And another good tip for avoiding all that is to get there early, because it's a great day. You might as well get there and watch Fridgies. And
there's 4 grades.
Yeah. You can spend the whole day on the hill.
Yep.
Taste there's food. There's so much going on, and it's great to beat a game like that with a massive crowd. Just the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's Maitland v Souths, so it should be a really good contest and a great afternoon. They've had some killer jerseys, the two teams, over the last couple of years. It's been Maitland and Souths. I know other teams, but Souths jerseys, they've had some ripper ones, and again, I've got them up on the screen for you to look at. That
and I think some of the one of the best things I see every year is the person out front promoting it is Sleepy himself, who's overcome his cancer. This was kicked off how long ago? Over a decade ago?
Yeah, it's getting close to a decade now.
And that's so good to see. But I also love that he's still fighting the good fight. That he's like, no, this is not just about me. It's not about me overcoming my cancer. It's about fighting all cancer. And good on more people need to be more people like him in the world is a good thing.
Yeah, it's well done to South Newcastle, Sleepys Foundation, everyone involved, Maitland as well. Yeah, Maitland Piggers certainly contribute. So it's going to be a great Saturday.
Yeah, bring it on.
Now we've got obviously a lot of Country Rugby League on BarTV Sports, and Geoff and I, we had a crack last year at picking our grand final winners. Yeah. So this year we've gone with 12 comps, and we've opened it up to a couple of our in-house commentators. So we'll put 2 up on the screen for you. I'll read them out too if you're driving. Yeah. But first up, we've got Sully and Morgan Campbell. Sully commentates down Canberra Rugby League. If you're not familiar, also does a lot of New South Wales jersey flag, does everything.
These guys you might have heard but didn't know who you're listening to even.
Yeah, Sully would call marbles or ants crawling down the pavement. He loves commentating. Morgan, he's called a lot of Newcastle Rugby League back in the day, also a New South Wales Cup jersey flag. But we've got their tips up on the screen. Sully and Morgan, they've both gone for Redcliffe. Burleigh, they also, the difference one, Sunshine Coast, Stanley River, and Sully's gone for Coolum. They've both gone for the Ipswich Jets in the Ipswich comp. New RL, Newcastle. Sully's picked Wyong, and Morgan has shown his black and gold eyes with Cessnock. They've both tipped Erina in the Central Coast. Northern Rivers, Morgan's gone for Maris Brothers. Sully with Coogin. Illawarra both gone with Collies, yes. And Group 7, Sully's gone Shell Harbour. Morgan's gone Kiama. Group 9, Morgan's gone with Young. Wagga Kangaroos for Sully. Canberra, Tuggeranong for Sully. Queanbeyan Kangaroos for Morgan. And for New South Wales Cup, I think everyone picked the Warriors.
Yeah, how could you not? They're dominating this year. But, nice mixture there of different teams. Some of them have picked what I picked. We'll let that.
We'll put our two up. I'll let you. You can go through them. There's my picks and Jeff's.
Now, Paul, you've gone for Carina's. Brisbane Rugby League have gone for Carina. I went for Wests. Gold Coast. We both went for Burleigh. Both went for Maroochydore at the Sunshine Coast. I thought that might have been a bit of an upset for mine, or a smoky. Down to Redbank Plains for Ipswich comp. Sorry, we both went for Redbank Plains. We both went for Maitland in Newcastle Rugby League.
It's funny that we've picked a couple there that no one else has, and they're probably thinking, "Fuck, these guys have got inside information." I guarantee you, we don't.
And I think the ones I'm picking, going, Paul's never going to pick that one, so I'm going to pick it because he won't.
Yeah,
and I've looked and gone, wait a minute, actually, Redbank as well. Okay, it's down the Central Coast. Did we both go? No, I went for the entrance. That was my upset. You went for Kincumber and Triple RL. You went for Coogin. I went for Ballina. Yeah. That's a bit of an upset. Illawarra, we both went for Collies. Group 7, I went for Kiama. That was my biggest smoky, maybe, of the comp. Group 7, you went for the Stingrays, of course. Group 9, I went for the Kangaroos. You went for Temora.
Yeah, I actually had Albury Thunder down there. Shit, they're not even going to make the top 5. Well, they might, but
Your heart's still in Albury. Canberra, you've gone for the Roos. I've gone for Tuggeranong.
Yep.
And like we said, the New South Wales Cup, the Warriors are looking good.
Yeah, and 2 more from Mike Wilson and Duane Neville. Duane, he calls everywhere for us, mainly Northern Rivers in Group 9. Mike Wilson, our resident Brisbane Rugby League caller, we can see there Mike's gone for West's Duane, Carina, both again going for Burleigh on the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Stanley River for both Duane and Mike, both going for the Jets in Ipswich, both going for Maitland, the New RL, both going for Erina and the Central Coast comp. Northern Rivers, Mike's gone for Maris Brothers and Duane's gone for Ballina. Maybe you got some inside knowledge there. Illawarra, both going for Collies. Group 7, both going for Kiama. Group 9, both going for the Kangaroos. Canberra, a bit of a difference here. Mike's gone for West Belconnen and Duane, Queanbeyan Kangaroos, and both going for the Warriors.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's some of those commentators that have a lot of knowledge around their areas seem to have picked the same as I've picked in those areas, so I'm feeling pretty heartened by that. I'm like, maybe that'll work in my favour, but there's some interesting sort of information there, like no one really touched the Queanbeyan Blues. They're off on the nose when it comes to Canberra, but the Roos only got 3 out of the 6 of us thought the Roos are going to make it, so everyone's sort of looking. I think people, I like to pick a few smokies, but I thought I picked pretty conservative this time around, but there's plenty of smokies in there when you add up all the other tipsters, and we'll see what happens. And if anyone wants to send theirs in, please send in your tips, or just bag out our tips and say there's no way in hell Ballina's going to go anywhere near at the title. I really think, and Kiama, I think, I don't know, it's all about momentum.
I don't mind Kiama. I did have Gerringong, but I crossed them out, so that means they've got it in the bag now.
I was going to say, that's what I fear. Yeah. Everything I seem to tip. Remember, I said Kyogle were definitely going to win it. I think Kyogle will have their last game in a couple of weeks' time when the season ends. Last game for the year. But anyway, it'll be very interesting to see how this all pans out. But wow, it's going to be a big finish. When you look at all the different options for all those competitions, we've got a big couple of months ahead of us when it comes to BarTV.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
there are a lot of comps I found that are pretty open field. Maybe, there's only a limited in the semis, but it could be 3 or 4 teams in a bunch of comps that could win the comp.
Yeah.
Which previous years you think, oh, look, we've got a runaway leader. It's going to look pretty certain that team's going to win. I don't know about this year. There's going to be a very, very, maybe a few upsets in semi-finals.
All right, that's around the groups.
Beautiful.
All right, plenty of big hits on the weekend. The boggy conditions made it, I won't say easy to line players up, but here are our big hits of the week. Now, we literally kick things off with William Armstrong, Logan Pride. This is the start of the A-grade game, and wham.
A lot of kick-off tries and kick-off big hits at the moment.
So well done, William, getting one in early. This is Kyden Booth, now a Bombarderi Jets. This is a triple shot here, but Kyden was the one with the first impact there that just buckled the ball carrier back. Great shot. Tianola Samu, Blacktown Workers. Now, a bit of a hospital pass here. What I like here from Samu is he cleans him up and just gives him a head pat and say, sorry, brother.
It's not my nature to do this. I just do it on the field.
Jack Alapati, the entrance Tigers here. Just a nice, clean shot there. Again, there was
3 players?
3 in there.
Yep. Beautiful.
And finally, Alan Ratton of the Queanbeyan Blues. Just a nice shot here into the ribs. The ball comes loose, and Alan just gives him a little laugh to say, yeah, I got you, pal.
Yeah. He did to get that ball back in his hand. Yeah, no, I'm fine. It wasn't a knock on. No, some great hits.
Yep, there are big hits. If you've seen better, let us know through the social media or comments.
On Instagram.
We'd love to see them. Yeah.
Please come and follow Instagram. I'd love to see what happens after this, whether people go, oh, and they'll join it and we'll get big numbers.
Yeah. All right, moving on, we've got to wrap things up. I've got to get the hell out of here. Fixtures this weekend, NRRL round 15. Lower Clarence host Casino, Coogin at home to Tweed Coast. Well, we think so. Morris Brothers at home to Ballina. Murwillumbah host Northern United. Kyogle at home to Mullumbimby. Tweed Heads v Balamble and Evans Head v Byron Bay.
Yeah, Newcastle round 16, Sleapys Day. Souths are playing Maitland, of course. Lakes are hosting West. The Entrants are up against Central. Macquarie play Curry. Wyong are hosting Cessnock, and Northern Hawks have to bye.
Canberra round 17, Tuggeranong do battle with Goulburn City. Belconnen United's at home to Yass. The Roos take on West Belconnen, and the Blues at home to Woden Valley.
Yeah, Group 9, round 14, Gundagai are home to Albury. Waggaroos are up against Temora. The interesting game, Cootamundra v Brothers, and South City are hosting Young, and Junee are playing at home to Tumut.
Illawarra round 14, Dapto take on Collies. West at home to Delar, and Thurul host Corrimal.
Yeah, Brisbane round 19, we've got West hosting Logan, Carina at home to Redcliffe, South at home to Valleys, with Wynnum enjoying the bye.
Gold Coast round 15, it's back, top of the table. Burleigh v Runaway Bay, Tugun hosts Southport, and Helensvale at home to Currumbin.
Now, Sunshine Coast round 17, Kawana are hosting Stanley, Noosa are home to Caboolture, Nambour are hosting Maroochydore, and Caloundra are at home to Coolum.
Ipswich round 13, we've got North Tigers at home to Ipswich Jets, West End host Brothers, and Fassy Fern and Redbank Plains do battle.
Right, looking on the knock-on effect cup, round 23, the Dragons are at home to Canberra. Manly are hosting Newcastle. Newtown are at home to Penrith. Canterbury are at home to the Warriors. Parramatta are hosting Norths, and Easts are at home to Souths. Right,
where are we? Harvey Norman, is it? Yeah, round 6, just lost my train of thought there. Souths at home to Central Coast. Newcastle take on the West Tigers. Mounties at home to Penrith. St George v Cronulla, the local derby. Canterbury v Illawarra, and Parramatta on Monday night host Wentworthville.
And Ron Massey, a couple more games this round after some byes last week. Round 19, Hills Bulls are at home to Mounties, and Right Eastwood are hosting St Mary's.
Jersey Fleet, round 23, Canterbury at home to Warriors, Dragons at home to Canberra, Manly at Manly against Newcastle, Cronulla v Penrith, Parramatta host Melbourne, West Tigers take on Cavite Silktails at Lidcombe, and East hosts Souths at Wentworth Park.
Beautiful.
That's it, mate. Another show on the can.
Yep, we've got a big couple of rounds, as we saw. A lot to talk about this week, and there's going to be even more next week, I think, as we get closer to semi-final football right around the nation.
Well, that's all from me, Paul Arandale.
I'm Geoff Stevenson.
We'll catch you next week.
Bye.